If you're looking to write a children's book, you need to do these 5 things first that I'm going to share with you in this video, because if you do, the creation of your children's book will be so much easier, smoother, faster, and much cheaper. Now, as an award-winning and best-selling children's book author, I've worked with hundreds of students and clients and have written and ghostwritten over 40 children's books. And whenever someone asks me for my top 5 things when it comes to writing children's books, I always list these 5 things right here. And they're all really important because each one will determine the decisions you will have to make regarding your children's book. Planning goes a long way, and that holds especially true when it comes to the success of your children's book. And that's what you want, right? You want your future children's book to be successful. So let's dive right in. I know that jumping right into the creative process and the writing is probably what gets you excited about your children's book the most. But before you do, here are things you need to do and get clear on first. The first thing you need to determine for yourself is your book's goal, its purpose. That is, what are you trying to achieve with your children's book? And the reason you want to be clear on your goal is because it will really help you with the way you're going to write your story. Now, there are all sorts of different types of goals out there. One of them being that you want to simply have your book entertain children. Let's say your story is a silly one and you simply want to make little ones laugh. So your book's goal then is to entertain. Another goal is to educate. Maybe you are a teacher or a mom or a dad, and your story is about a little duck that throughout the story learns about the different types of weather. Macy's books are a beautiful example where each one of these books teaches and educates about something else, like the weather, for example. So educating is a type of goal for writing a children's book as well. Another big goal is to share our own values with kids. So if your story is about kindness or supporting each other or saying please and thank you, then your story's goal is to instill values that we ourselves hold dear. So when you're writing your story, ask yourself, what are you trying to achieve with your children's book? And the reason this is so important is because once you know your goal, the writing will be a lot easier because you're very clear on what you're trying to achieve with your book. The second thing you really want to get clear on before writing your story is what age group your book is going to be for. And that's really important, especially with children's books. So many of my clients and students share with me that their book is for all ages to enjoy. And I get that because we love our stories, right? But the reality is that a 4-year-old is not going to enjoy and be interested in what a 9-year-old likes and enjoys. And vice versa. Kids develop at such a rapid rate at this age, and so are their interests. We see it with toys, we see it with games, with shows they like to watch, and so the same holds true for books. So being clear on what age group your book is for will really help in so many ways. If you know your age group, for example, you will be able to tailor the length of your book, the word count, right? Because the younger your little reader is, the shorter the text should be, and the more illustrations your book should have. If you know your age group, you'll also be able to tailor the level of vocabulary. It'll greatly affect the types and difficulty of language you're going to use or should be using. So ask yourself, what age group is it that you're looking to reach with your book? Because again, the answer to this question will really influence the scope of your story and the way you're going to write it. The third question you should ask yourself even before your book is written is, what do you want your final book to look like? And by look like, I mean things like the size and the layout of your book, for example. Should it be square or vertical or horizontal? And should the illustrations just be on one side or spread over the entire left and right side? Or should the illustrations cover the entire page or just be little spot illustrations? Or what color and style your book should be like? Should your book be in color or black and white, digital drawings or hand drawings? These things will greatly influence the way your book will look and will be laid out in the end and put together. So you'll want to already know what your book is going to look like. If not now, then for sure before you even look for or hire an illustrator. Because knowing these things will make the selecting and hiring of an illustrator so much easier and a lot more straightforward. And most importantly, it'll make the process much more cost effective. Whenever I'm unsure about this particular step, what I like to do is go through my 2 boys' bookshelves, or also look directly on Amazon to see what's out there and what types of books speak to me in terms of layout and setup and the location of the text, for example, and the layout of the different pages. Looking at what's already out there is a great way to get inspired. And this leads beautifully into the fourth question you should ask yourself even before you dive into the writing of your children's book. And that is, now that I know the purpose of my book and the age group of my book, I want to know what children's books are already out there that are similar to what I'm about to write. And that's something people just don't do. You can call it research or whatever you want, but doing so, looking at what's already out there, will help with so many things. For example, it will give you an idea on how well your book could be doing. If there are books already out there similar to what you're looking to write, and those have lots of great reviews, then it's an indication that this type of book is doing really well and is being read. It's also an indicator as to whether or not there is a desire or need for it. Oftentimes, people think that when they see a similar book, they don't need to write it anymore. But if a similar book already exists, it means that there is a demand for it. So it's actually a good thing. There's a need for it. If, on the other hand, there are no books whatsoever on this type of topic or this type of book, then you would actually start asking yourself, is there a demand for a book like this? Because oftentimes it's a lot harder to break into a new topic or a new thing that has not been there before. So again, doing our research beforehand is going to be so beneficial to our own creation process of your own story, your own children's book. And the fifth and final question you should ask yourself is where you'd like to publish your children's book. If you are clear on this now, you will be able to base so many writing decisions and also illustration decisions on it and make those decisions already right now. There have been so many beautiful changes within the publishing industry that have opened our options so widely and greatly. Publishing your children's book the traditional way is no longer the only way, and really not even the most desirable way any longer. I am a big advocate of self-publishing, so I'm very grateful for this option, especially the print-on-demand option, because I do not have to purchase thousands of copies up front out of pocket. When using print-on-demand or POD, POD, a book gets printed only once someone has ordered it, for example, on Amazon. So there are no upfront costs, no inventory, and no shipping responsibilities. And then, I already mentioned it indirectly, we have the offsite printing where we'd purchase bulk copies up front and then we'd try to sell them. These are the three main options to publish a children's book. But regardless of your choice, the point here is that you should ask yourself this question beforehand, because again, this will greatly influence the way you will move through your book creation process. And these are the 5 main questions you should address and ask yourself even before the writing of your children's book. If you've already written your story, don't worry. That's, of course, absolutely okay too, as long as you ask yourself these questions now and get clear on them now. Because again, having clarity on this will save you so much time as well as financial resources as you're creating your children's book. And I say this because I've gone through this creation process hundreds of times, both with my own books as well as those of my clients and students. So I really hope this helps, and if you're ready to write your own children's book, I wanted to share one of my many resources I've created, my book, How to Self-Publish a Children's Book, your step-by-step guide to write and illustrate and also publish your children's book. This has been sold tens of thousands of times, and it's got over 400 reviews on Amazon and also won a number of awards. So I've added the link to it below so you know where to get it, as well as the link to my website, eevijones.com. That's eevijones.com. And be sure to subscribe, as I'm planning to share more of these videos with you soon. Talk soon!